Good morning, everyone. Today we will be talking about integers. So please get your notebooks and take note of the following information. For this lesson, you will be able to first represent the absolute value of a number on a number line. Second one is to perform operations on integers. And the last one will be to solve word problems involving integers. So before we start, let us recall the number types. During your elementary days, you have already discussed about natural numbers, also known as the counting numbers. Counting numbers includes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and so on. We also have what we call the whole numbers, which includes 0 and the set of counting numbers. So for today, we will be discussing another set of numbers known as the integers. As you can see, integers are composed of negatives of our counting numbers. Also, it includes our counting numbers and 0. Integers are known as signed numbers. These numbers can be positive, negative, or 0. So in our number line, if we are to illustrate, let's say this is our number line, okay? The point where these two positive and negative numbers merge is what we call 0. Now, this is called the origin. Okay? Ayos ko lang yung sulat. Okay, so our origin is 0. Okay, the positive numbers are located on the right of our origin. Okay, so we have here 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. And on the left side of the origin, we have the negative integers or the negative numbers. Okay, for the negative numbers, starting from the origin, we have negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, and so on. The arrowheads on our number line tell us that it will extend endlessly on both directions. Okay? Always remember that the negative numbers will always be lesser than 0. Okay? And the positive numbers will always be greater than 0 and greater than our negative numbers. So, greater than 0. Okay? Ayan. So, when we write numbers, specifically negative integers, it is always required for us to have a sign. Okay? So, let's say we have, on our example, we have negative 12. Okay? So, negative 12 is written as minus 12. Okay? Minus sign and 12. This minus sign is read as negative. For positive integers, it is not required to write a sign in front of it. So, for example, on our given, positive 12 is written as 12. Okay? You may write plus in front of it or not. Not anymore. No? So, parehas lang po yung ibig sabihin kung meron siyang plus sign sa unahan or wala. Okay? So, again, this one is read as negative 12. And this one is read as 12 or positive 12. So, integers can be represented in real life. Okay? And or vice versa. Real life objects can be represented in terms of integers. So, for example, we have here an altitude of a mountain, 3,537 meters above sea level. So always remember, we also have representations for 0. So, for example, the term sea level is actually the part. And let's say this is the sea level, okay? As you can see, if you have a mountain, okay, a mountain rises above the sea level. Okay, so this one can be represented as positive integers. This sea level is 0, and the depth of a sea can be represented as negative integers. So, an hour given, 3,537 meters above sea level is represented as positive 3,537. Another example, the depth of an ocean floor is 12,100 feet below sea level. It's represented as negative 12,100. In money, if you got a profit, in Tagalog ay tumubo ka ng 500 pesos sa iyong pagbebenta, you have positive 500. Okay? And if you have a loss of 1,300 pesos, ibig sabihin nalugi ka ng 1,300, it's negative 1,300. So, in terms of money, our break-even or yung zero natin ay yung break-even. Okay? Ibig sabihin, nabawi mo lang yung puhunan mo. Okay? The positive integers will be yung profit. And the negative integers will be, okay? And the negative integers will be the losses or yung iyong mga naluging pera. In terms of integers applied to temperature, okay? So in a certain temperature, let's say the normal temperature is 37.5. Okay, let's say your temperature right now is 37.5. Okay, higher than that, let's say bigla kang naging 39.5. Okay, so if you're from 37 to 39.5, okay, 37.5 to 39.5, there is an increase of 2 degrees. We can say that that increase is positive 2. Okay, then let's say from a temperature, okay, let's say from 25 degree kung ano man ang kanyang kung siya degree Celsius or degree Fahrenheit. Ayan, degree Celsius. Let's say ito naman degree Fahrenheit drop to degree Celsius to. Lowest degree Fahrenheit is 32. Okay, so degree Celsius, 25 degrees Celsius to, let's say, 0 degrees Celsius. So bumaba siya ng 25 degrees, kaya naging 0. Therefore, we have negative 25. Okay, so it's the increase or the change in temperature that we represent. Now, there are several terms that you have to know before we start discussing about the operations on sets. The first term is what we call the absolute value. Absolute value refers to the distance of an integer from 0. So, for example, the absolute value of negative 12 is 12. Okay, in symbols, so pag nakita nyo yung ganitong symbol, okay, at may integer sa loob, so halimbawa, negative 7, no, we are referring to the distance of negative 7 from 0. And always remember that distance will always be positive. Na po, so kumbaga, if you see the sign, just disregard kung ano man yung sign ng nasa loob. Okay, so negative 7 is positive 7. On our given, negative 5 will become positive 5. Then, distance of positive 7 from 0 is still positive 7. 14, absolute value of 14 minus 2 Let us solve that one. 14 minus 2 is 12. So absolute value of 12 is 12. Then, absolute value of 3 plus 5. Let us solve that one. 3 plus 5 is 8. And absolute value of 8 is still 8. So always remember, absolute value or all distances are positive. Okay? So kaya po laging positive yung ating sagot. Another term that you should be aware of is what we call opposites or the additive inverse. So one property of real number is what we call inverse property of addition. Okay? So pag sinabing ganon, we are pertaining to the opposites. So pag sinabing opposites, these are integers with the same absolute value but in opposite directions in a number line. So for example nga dito sa slide natin, negative 2 and 2. Okay? They have opposite signs. Another example is negative 4 and 4. Opposite signs din po sila. And always remember, when you add opposites, the result will always be 0. Okay? So another example, kung halimbawa, you're going to see negative 10 plus 10. This one is equal to, if you answered 0, then this is, or your answer is correct. No po? So, bakit? Kasi opposite signs po. We have negative and positive 10. Another example, 11, positive 11 and negative 11. So, alam nyo rin to, 11 minus 11 is still 0. Okay? Isang positive at isang negative. Another, negative 50 plus 50. Okay, negative, positive. Okay, so the result is 0. These two numbers are what we call opposites. Okay. So we also have what we call coordinates. When we say coordinates, these are numbers associated with a point in a number line. Okay? So for now, since we are you're in grade 7, we only have one number line. But when you move on to grade 8, you will have two number lines. Okay? And you will be discussing about rectangular coordinates. So para may idea kayo, if this is our number line, okay, and this is your origin 0, okay, sa grade 7, ganyan pa lang ang makikita ninyo. Ayan, so we have here positive 1, positive 2, this is negative 1, negative 2. In grade 8, you will see another number line, vertical number line naman siya. Okay, and the vertical number line will also have 0 on its start. Then we have here the positive, 1, 2, and here are the negatives. So, negative 1, negative 2, and so on. Okay? So, for now, let us focus with the coordinates on a single number line. Okay? So, let's say our given, kagaya nung nandun sa ating slide, we have A, B, and C. So, let us identify the coordinates of points A, B, and C. Okay? So, point A has A. Sulat natin A. Okay? So, the coordinate of A will be equal to, ayan, tingnan natin, no? So, from negative 4, always remember, ayan, that the numbers will go parang backward, no, pag negatives. Okay, so pababa, we have 4, 3, 2, 1. But always remember that the number on the right will be greater than the numbers on the left in terms of value. No, so kung ang given mo man ay negative 4, greater pa din sa kanya si negative 3, greater sa kanya si negative 1. Okay? So, pero tuloy-tuloy siya. They follow a certain pattern. So, if our given is 4, 1 step to the right is negative 3. Then 1 step to the right again is the missing number. Then another 1 step to the right is negative 1. So what could be the number associated to A or point A? If you answered negative 2, then you are correct. Okay? So for B, we have negative 1. 1 step to the right is our point. Then 1 step to the right again is 1. Okay? We are already in the positive numbers. No, so ano lang ba ang number na naghahati sa mga negatives and sa face ng mga positives? So we have here 0. Then point C. So from point B we have 0. 1 step to the right is 1, another step is 2, another step will be positive 3. So again, the numbers that are associated to a given point in the number line is what we call coordinates. Or coordinate kasi isa lang naman siya. No, kung itong tatlo, edi coordinates. Okay. So for your task, okay, since you already have your MathScore account, kindly answer the topic entitled Introduction to Integers. So the goal is to have at least 60% of completion on the given topic. So pag sinabing at least 60%, ibig sabihin pwedeng tumaas ng 60% or pwedeng pwedeng eksakto sa 60%. Pero bawal bumaba ng 60. Okay?